Have you had any at cafe desserts that you like?
Yeah, I really like. I usually go for the volcano.
The volcano?
Yeah.
My favorite is the apple pie, but
Okay.
for today I think I'll go with what will I go with today?
There's more than that, no?
Yeah. I think these ones as well,
the
right?
cakes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Looking at the cakes.
Yeah.
The Black Forest is really good as well.
Oh yeah. I think I'll go with the cappuccino cake. That has never failed me.
I've never tasted it.
It's really good.
Okay, so I'll take the Black Forest.
And the cappuccino cake. You can make a sandwich with two.
You want to mix?
Okay, and coffee?
Yeah,
do you want?
iced. No, iced. It's too cold. Chai latte.
Chai latte. Okay. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Kiskapades podcast. I have a very lovely guest with me today. And, this just happened very randomly.
Yes, it did.
You follow my podcast. I do my investigation. I see, who's this following back? Are they interested in my podcast and stuff? And, I just reach out immediately because I saw like you have something very unique going on your profile. But before we get to that, I'll let you introduce yourself and tell people what you do.
Okay, so my name is Soumaya. Right now, I'm a regional marketing manager for a architecture and interior design company called Dash Interiors. That's something I love. I've always been interested in interior design, so I'm really passionate about what I'm doing right now. But on the side, I also do weaving, and I think that's what you were talking about when you said something special. So tapestry weaving is something that's not common in Kenya, and I'm kind of the first person who started teaching it here.
Very true. Very true.
And I stopped for a bit, and now I'm back at it. So this is perfect timing.
Oh, so it's just like perfect timing to do a little promo of what you have going on. And okay,
exactly.
I see.
You came like an angel out of nowhere,
No, but I'm guessing. When I came across like your Instagram, I was like, yo, how is this even like a hobby? Because I found it like really strange. Because those are things maybe you see like on documentaries that I hardly even run into. And I can't even remember the last time I saw anybody like doing tapestry or is it weaving?
Yeah, so it's tapestry weaving. You have several types of weaving, like basket weaving, or just the way you make clothes is actually weaving.
Okay.
But tapestry weaving is basically wall decor. It's mainly for
Okay.
So wall hangings. I also make things like pillows or bags or macrame as well.
What's that?
Macrame is the art of making things with knots and rope. So you tie knots with rope and you can create objects. So again, like wall hangings, like bags, like mats for the table, like. Really, the sky is the limit. Everyone is different.
Quite diverse when it comes to it. Okay, so before we come back to that, because I'm still trying to figure out how you have fun doing that. I mean, it's not for everyone. Let's just agree on that. It's just not for everyone. What's like your background? Like where did you grow up?
Right. So I was born and raised in France, but my parents are Moroccan. Okay. So I can define myself as a French Moroccan. I have a double culture, or if you want, it's kind of schizophrenic. It's like my parents were very attached to their heritage, the Moroccan heritage, and they made sure that we kept our culture inside our home. So yeah.
So you stayed in France? You grew up in France?
Yeah.
And did you keep going back and forth to Morocco just to be in touch of your roots and everything?
Yes. When I was a kid, we used to take the car and we used to travel 3 days to go to Morocco every summer.
I have like my geography like all messed up. And even when you say that, I was like, what? You can drive like from France to Morocco?
So let's say this is Africa.
Yeah.
Morocco is at the north, at the tip. And then this is France, and I used to live at the northeast of France. So it took us 3 days.
It's easy to But it's like,
not easy.
no, not easy, but was it a fun thing for you guys to do when you were young?
As a kid, yeah, I have very good memories of it. I don't remember the bad parts when we, like, the car would have a problem and would be stuck, and Spanish people were racist, so they would not help us. I mean, it was an adventure.
But think about it this way. When you're young, I mean, at times you might not realize, but when you're all grown up, you realize those are the little special moments
Yes.
that actually were fun and are more like those memories can just be erased. And those
Exactly.
experiences, just if you think about it, when you're a kid, you don't even, if the car is like, not working by any chance, or you just decide to take a stop, or it stalls for that matter, as a kid, you actually enjoy it because you're
Yeah.
like, I get to spend more time on the road.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
And at that time, your parents are just like, what is this? What is this?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, definitely. And we were 5 kids, so it was definitely an adventure. And it's better like that.
Okay, so just growing up in, how's the experience growing up in France? Because you see, like, even from the podcast, I guess a lot of people get to go into, like, people's footsteps and just embrace culture, learn about something new. How was it like just growing up there? Like, what things were you doing for fun growing up?
I had a normal childhood. I grew up in a modest family, so I think pretty much.
Modest meaning strict?
No, modest meaning not poor, not rich, so middle class.
Middle class, okay.
I grew up in a small town, so diversity was not like a thing. There was a couple of other Arabs, but that was pretty much it. Racism was quite, like, in a small town in France, in the northeast, discrimination was always present. So.
But see, the thing is, a lot of people would be like, what do you mean racism? But that's like now in Kenya,
Yes.
they wouldn't understand, like,
Yes.
even somebody like you,
Could
somewhere
experience.
else, somebody can look at you and say, like, you're not one of us.
Definitely, and I see it here. Here, I'm a white girl. In France, I'm definitely not a white girl, trust me. My name, my skin color, my hair type, everything defines me as being an immigrant in France. But to come back to your question, what I used to do as a kid, we used to go out and play in the street. There was no, like, social media or internet. Those days.
Good old days. Good old days.
The Game Boy, the Pokemon cards.
Mm.
Yeah, just like normal childhood, simple.
Yeah, nothing crazy, nothing wild.
Just your normal Arab drama, like.
Tell me. If anything, we have time. Tell me the normal Arab drama.
There's levels of drama. Yeah, there's like white people drama, then there's like Arab drama, then there's African drama. So yeah, just like once in a while, getting chased by your brother in the street.
Oh, the usual.
the
Usual
Saturday morning. Yeah.
I mean, growing up there, like, just the school system, like, how's the school system? A lot of what you learned, like just, let's say, would you call it like elementary level?
Yeah.
Or do you think it's like beneficial right now? Because there are a lot of school systems now that people are a bit confused because, the job markets keep changing and people are not even sure how the school system should be. Should they stick to the old ways, or should they adapt to new ways with these digital platforms?
I think I was lucky to be born in France, first of all, and have free education. That's something I'll never complain about.
It's free education.
Yeah, it was free education.
And
free
good
healthcare.
education.
Yeah, like public schools in France are good. It's not like in other countries, thank God. But what you were saying.
And healthcare.
And healthcare,
as well.
yeah. So that's life-changing, and that's something I never complain about in France. I think what we learn in classrooms is not the most important. It's more like the social skills we get out of the education we get, like
True.
from the teachers and from the other students. So I don't know anything about education right now, even though I have a child myself. I don't really pay attention to the programs, whether it's here or in France. I think what matters is really like the environment. Because at the end, we all forget what we learn in class anyway.
Yeah.
So It's more about the skills as a human being.
I think social interaction is more important,
definitely,
right?
Yeah.
People skills, just understanding even, and people skills. Now that's why like even adapting to different cultures, I guess.
Yes.
Like just being with people who are different and
Uh-huh.
understanding them, not like
Not in a shallow way.
exactly.
Empathy,
Empathy.
sharing.
Oh, sharing. Yeah, all those little things that we never like really pay attention to. When you grow up now, that's when you start realizing like, oh, now this makes sense. Okay. Now, where did you get like this hobby for, what do you call it? This hobby for
Weaving.
weaving. Did you pick it up in Morocco or in France?
The funny thing is, weaving is big in Morocco because it's like ancestral art over there. That's how they make the famous Moroccan rugs. But I learned online.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I'm just trying to call someone.
Sure, no worries.
Uh-huh.
I learned online from a class, and I was in England at the time. So I was going through a lot of things.
Oh, wait, how did you end up because
In England?
Yeah, that's
'Cause-
uni or something?
No, my daughter's father is British.
Ah, okay.
So I got married, went to England, and I was there. And when I was pregnant, I was looking for something to keep me busy, even though I was working. So I started sewing. And then sewing became a bit complicated in terms of just logistics. You need the machine, you need the table, you need time, it takes energy.
Yeah.
Whereas weaving was so much more simple, sorry. So at first I used to see those pictures of wall hangings on Pinterest, and I was thinking, this looks ugly, but I want to give it a try. So I did. And then I never stopped, and I kept paying for courses and classes online, and I learned more and more. And that was still in England, yeah. And when I came here, I noticed there was no such thing, so I took advantage of it.
Yeah, because, like for me, I still just find it hard. That's something that I would do probably if I'm high, locked up in a room, and somebody threw those things. And those were the only things that were on the floor. Because I'm just trying to think.
It's not that bad.
No, it's not that bad. I'm just saying.
It's not your thing.
Not just me. Like a lot of people would want to understand. Like in this digital era, everybody else would be doing like so many other things.
It's true.
They'd be like, if you're really, somebody would want to understand how comes, why this. But would you say it's because, did you adapt to this when you got into like motherhood?
Yes,
During that time when now you're home and you want to spend time with the kid
definitely.
and do something that's not, that doesn't require you to leave like, the kid.
Definitely. Like for example, for the sewing, I tried learning how to sew many times in my life, and I always failed. When I was 15, like it was just so hard. And then when I was pregnant, it was just me, the sewing machine, and YouTube. So it's like now is the time to focus on this and to succeed.
Actually,
I don't know. Yeah, motherhood brings like new skills. You adapt. You need also escapes from just
So
being
many
with your
other
child.
things, yeah.
Like I was at home with my baby for like a year and a half. So it's just me and her breastfeeding, and I needed something else because I was not working.
Yeah.
And for me, that's really hard. And I didn't have a social life that much either. So I really needed something to keep me busy, to keep me alive, to just make me a human being,
Yeah, just not to go crazy, man. Because I can
Exactly.
only imagine. But did you
Outside.
have like a social life before, or you're just one of those people who are just like, what, I'm just going to keep to myself.
What
Were you
do you
were you
think?
an introvert?
No, not at all. I'm
Not at
very
all?
social. Yeah.
Or before you got, but now like
Even
after
before.
having the kid, now you were forced to.
What happened is that in England, I was struggling to make friends just because of how it is.
Why? Shouldn't it be easy? Okay, isn't it like a cultural like environment?
It wasn't where I was. I was not in London. I was
Okay.
in a smaller town
Where?
in Coventry.
Coventry.
Yeah.
Why am I asking like I know where it is? Okay.
Some people know. It's a small word. You never know.
No, the listeners definitely somebody would relate to that.
It's next to Birmingham. It's very community based. So it's like Asians are with Asians, Somalis are with Somalis, white people are with white people. And then I'm like the Moroccan chick who just arrived and just like, I don't know anyone except my in-laws.
Yeah.
And I got a job. I got 2 different jobs at some point. I was very close to my colleagues at work, but then no one ever said, let's grab a coffee because you're new in this country.
What?
Yeah. I mean, except one person who was a Chinese lady. So
Yeah.
she was also, like, she didn't have a family there as well. But she was way older than me, so it wasn't like a friendship
Yeah,
thing.
like you
It was
can't
more
really...
like relate to the person. She was like 40-something.
Yeah.
And it was the first time in my life that I struggled that much to make friends.
They're like, yo, this is a new place. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, like, how can you adapt and love a country when you don't have anyone to talk to outside of your husband who's at work, like, the whole day, you know?
No, that's crazy, though.
Yeah, it was tough.
I can only imagine. But so how do you cope with that, though? Before we come back to,
You don't cope with it. That's the reason why I left England. Like, after 2 years, like, I can't do it. I can't. Like, I'm a social human being. I need a social life.
Yeah.
I need to love the country where I am, and I need to feel like this is home. You know?
Yeah. And even at least, like, just linking up with people once in a while, or just knowing that, even if it's online, knowing, like, even though I'm not physically next to this person,
Yeah.
I can ask them, like, for weekend, what are you doing? Like, do you want to link up or something?
Just
at
having
least
someone
that way,
to text, yeah.
text, talk to, and even just go take a walk and talk.
I didn't have that.
That's crazy. I can't do it.
And I don't think I'm crazy, or I don't think I have a problem. I don't think
Yeah.
I was the issue. I just think it's the culture in that country.
And that's how people are.
Yes. So they have their own life going on. If they meet you at work and they see that you're new, they won't really think about...
They won't ask, like, like, for me, like, every time I see somebody who's new,
Yeah.
I'm always thinking, like, yo, the reason why I asked you to the podcast is because I watched that YouTube video you and your friend made, and you're talking about, just coming to Kenya and, your experience. And, like, for me, I know, because I've had that feeling going to somewhere like SA and so many other places where, like, it's really just like your first time there, and then you're trying to figure out, like, yo, how do I, like, just connect with one person who's going to make everything so much easy for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, let's talk about it, like, on the podcast, because, like, there's so many people who, like, maybe expatriates, people who just because of school or work find themselves, like, in Kenya, and, like, have to adapt and all those things that come with it.
But Kenya is amazing in that sense, though.
Oh yeah, people want to be, like, friends. Everybody wants to be friends with everybody.
And straight. Like, as soon as someone hears that you're not from here, it's like, Karibu sana, let's do something. Have you seen this? Have you done this? It's just amazing. Or just like, let's grab coffee.
That's nice, which is very rare, of course, in other places. Well, let's go back to how you tapped into tapestry.
Yeah.
And, weaving.
Yes, tapestry weaving,
Tapestry weaving, and then we'll get back to now, like, you just, landing in Kenya and adapting to this new environment.
Right.
So here you are, you have your kid, and, you've gained interest in this one thing that you're also learning online.
Yeah.
So what next from there? Before, did you start your YouTube next, or you just kept on learning and doing these things for fun, just for fun?
So first I started the weaving, and then I had this idea in my mind. I started working at IKEA as well in England.
Yeah.
And I hated being employed. So I was thinking I need to find a way to be my own boss.
Yeah.
So I paid for a class online to learn how to create a profitable website.
Okay.
And that website could be a blog, it could be a YouTube channel, it could be anything that would be related to your passion in life. So that's how I connected those two things. The course was really interesting. It was really expensive as well.
Wow. But wait, before you finish that, what did you initially study, like, in school? What was, like, your major? What did you study?
Business, and then I specialized in international marketing.
Jeez. Okay.
It's no big deal. I just did a bachelor. I didn't...
What do you mean it's no big deal?
It's not.
It is a big deal. Okay, let's bounce forward back to...
I didn't say... I'm not a doctor. I can't save someone's life. It's not a big deal. Really, it's just about understanding people's needs and catering to them. That's it. Marketing.
It's a big deal. Marketing is everything if you think about it right now. Isn't everything marketing?
Yeah, that's why everyone studies marketing, and then the market is saturated.
Yeah. Okay, so now step forward to now you studying this course that you're saying it was like actually expensive.
Yeah. So I was thinking I'm either gonna do like a sewing YouTube channel or a weaving one, or like a mix of both.
Okay.
And I started doing that, and I kind of stopped because I hated so many things about it, like editing or shooting the sewing videos was a headache. It's like, imagine how long it takes to make a garment, and then how long it takes to shoot it and then edit that video. That's like 14 hours of footage that you have to edit. It's just, it was a headache, so I kind of took a break from it. Even though the weaving videos were doing very well, and I had a whole plan of creating a course online that would be, like, it wouldn't be free. That would like bring me some income, and I had this whole planned out, but I took a break from it. And then life came into it as well. You know, it's just.
But that's still part of your life. What do you mean?
Yeah.
You had one job to do. It's something that you like. You had one job to do.
That's it. The thing is, do I really enjoy it though? That's the question I was asking myself.
Oh, it's the shooting and editing bit which, like, you know, made you.
And that's everything basically.
yeah, because that's the only way you can put your.
Your work.
And even generate, like, you know.
Yeah, so now I'm kind of rethinking the whole thing, and I think the weaving videos were easier to shoot, so I did enjoy making those. So I'm thinking I'm going to forget about the sewing part and focus on that niche that weaving is. Especially since there's not many people doing it.
Yeah.
Even online. There's a couple of weavers that have online classes. So.
I tried. I tried to Google and go on YouTube. I was like, geez, okay, I need to talk to this person so that I just understand, because it's definitely an untapped market. So I think if it's something that you enjoy, and, you know, maybe just like you said, you need to re-evaluate and get a different approach so that it's not too tedious for you.
Yeah.
I think I don't think you have to do like the whole process. You can do maybe like a time lapse, and then like now do like a narration video where you're talking about, like, you know, what you did and techniques that you're doing and everything.
Yeah, but personally, when I watch a video, I like it to be visual and quick.
Yeah,
so,
the attention span, man.
Yeah, I would never watch a tutorial that's more than 10 minutes, for example. That's why when I was making videos, I would make sure they were not long, and that's where it was really hard to edit. But the people that I follow on YouTube, I guess it takes practice. They make garments, and it takes like only 6 minutes on the YouTube video, and I'm like, wow, how did you do that? It's just, a lot of practice. And having a full-time job as well as doing the YouTube thing is challenging. Yeah. And a kid on top of that.
Yep.
So it's just like priorities and asking myself what I really want at the end.
Okay, so now before we come back to when you started doing the videos, did you start them in Kenya or when you were in UK with the baby? You got the kid in UK?
Yes, she's 3.5 now.
Okay.
I started making videos. I started the sewing bits.
Or just the interest in UK?
No, the class I started in England, and then I think I already started in England, but it developed more here.
Okay, so what made you move from England come to this country of ours?
That's what I told you. It's like the social life being dead in England. I'm serious.
Are you really serious? Like, that's the one of the major things that made you...
You need to understand, like, before going to England, I was in Ghana. And I loved Ghana, and I was doing an internship there. The company that I was working with wanted me to stay, but I didn't like their work ethic, so I left.
It's still marketing?
It was, marketing and fashion.
How many jobs have you done, first of all? Because now we just, I'm just jumping from, I just asked this question and I'm like, oh shit, another country, another. Yeah. So how many countries have you?
Okay.
Because I almost thought that this was like your full-time thing.
No.
Okay, but how many other jobs have you done before you?
Okay,
We'll tap into, we'll ease in back to this, because I just want people to understand, like, you know,
It's
There are
also
all these things that shape you to who
yeah,
you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easier to understand. If you understand my relationship with this continent, then you'll understand why I came
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
So the first time I came to Africa, it was Benin. I was an au pair there,
Okay.
and it was completely unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
My parents don't even know the truth about this experience.
Wow.
Right. What happened is I was looking for a summer job, so I got into this au pair website, and there's this guy who's looking for an au pair for his son because they speak French over there, and he was Australian.
What's an au pair?
An au pair is a nanny from another country that will teach your kid how to speak her language, basically. So he hired me, and I went to Benin, and I told my parents. My parents are very strict. They're quite paranoid. So when I told them I was going to Benin, I had to make up a story. I told them I was going for an internship because if I told them I'm going to be a nanny at a man's house, there's no mother.
There's no way. No way.
And there's no. Even for the internship, they said no, you're not going.
Take care of the kid outdoors where we can see surveillance and
Take
everything.
care of your sister.
Oh yeah.
What do you want? So I made up this lie, and God forgive me. I went even though they were against the whole thing, and it was amazing. It was just 2 months of like just being somewhere completely different than France and meeting people that were so warm and welcoming, and it was just like my first crush. And I went back to France. I was so sad and depressed. I kept going
like,
with,
what's this?
Why am I here? There's so many places in the world that are better than this one.
Candle.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then I did my best to go back, went to Morocco for an internship related to my studies, and then Ghana happened as well after. And Ghana was the longest. It was like 5 months. And I really loved it. But
So still internship?
Yes, internship as well. That ended up being a job offer that I didn't take. But no regrets, really. Then I met my husband at the time, got married, went to England because he was in England and he was settled there.
Is he Ghanaian? Okay, hold on.
No.
Hold on. Say happy birthday.
My birthday is coming.
Your birthday is coming soon?
In June.
Okay. Yeah, that works. Thank you. So, my question earlier was, you know why I asked that question? Because, you said you met him in Ghana?
No.
Or in UK?
Online.
Online? Oh, wow. So, online dating does work, you see? Guys, you can actually find your lifetime partner. But you've been married once though, right?
Yeah, just once.
Okay.
Why'd you say it?
Just confirming. Just confirming.
That I know of, yeah.
That you know of. Yeah. So you meet your hubby online.
Yeah, so I decided to move to England because he was settled there. He had his job there. And then, after 2 years, I realized this is not where I want to be, and there's so many other places in the world that we could explore and see if we could both be happy over there,
Yeah.
Because, I'm not a big family person. I haven't seen my parents in 2 years, unfortunately. I miss them, I love them, but if my life is somewhere else and I'm happier somewhere else, then I would consider staying somewhere else and far from my parents. The same way they left Morocco to have a better life.
Yeah, they started it. They started this
Exactly.
thing.
Well, with me, for them, it's completely confusing because they wonder what I'm doing in Africa when they left Africa.
Yeah, they're like, why?
My dad every day is like, what is she doing there? They have these stereotypes about Africa, and obviously. But anyway, so
I can't blame them. It's what they see on the news, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's true. Until you come here, you can't understand.
You won't understand
the potential.
Have you been to the coast?
Yeah.
Okay. You should take them there if they come visiting.
Yeah, maybe.
Then they'll be like, you know what? We know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, and Lamu especially has a very Moroccan vibe.
Yeah.
So
they would love it.
Yeah, they would definitely.
Okay, back to you going back to England, telling your hubby like, you know what, want to try something new, and
Yeah, so he applied for jobs all around the world and he found something in Kenya. And 2 years ago we landed here. And now I can't see myself anywhere else at the moment.
Really?
Like I can never picture myself living in France, for example. Would never go back to England. Once, not twice.
Yeah, I
That's
have
it.
people dying to get that. What's the visa called?
Schengen.
Schengen visa?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have people dying to get that visa.
I can understand that. I mean, I was born there. I lived there until I was
so you've
20.
already experienced
Yeah,
it.
and then I took everything I could take from France. Like I told you, free education, free healthcare, and then so much more. That's why I'll never complain. Like it's like this weird relationship with France. It's like a love and hate relationship, you know? It's like a mother that didn't really want us, but still gave us because she had no choice, you know?
Yeah.
I'm talking about us immigrants,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm first generation in France. But just the vibe over there is completely different. So everyone has a different vibe, and I consider a country to be like a person. You can't get on with every person in the world the same way you can't be
True.
happy in every country in the world.
True.
So I'm open to finding my happy place, and for now it's Kenya, so I'm blessed.
So you guys moved to Kenya,
Yes.
and
yeah.
what's so special? What do you find? Why do you find Kenya so special? I want to know
I'll tell you what. Like after being to,
because I'm still trying to find something special in Kenya.
it's just how multicultural it is. Like Ghana is not that multicultural. There's not like generations of Indians over there. There's like there's a lot of Lebanese, but they came after, and it's a different vibe. Kenya has so many like families that were settled here 5 generations ago from other countries.
Yeah, from Somali.
Yeah, India, Pakistan. And then you have the British, you have the Deutsch.
Even Ethiopians, man. Like we have like so much going on. I think, and even that's why I think you've identified like in Lamu, there is also like a nice, rich, like Moroccan kind of
and Yemeni,
heritage.
The Arab heritage, So it makes this place open-minded. It's a beautiful mix of culture, and you always learn something different from everyone.
True.
And even like the Kenyan tribes, they're all so different from each
all
other.
Different,
you know? It's a big country. There's a lot to see. Life is a bit expensive here, but you get used to it.
I keep telling people that, like, if you're used to staying in Nairobi, you might be able to survive in so many other places, though.
It's true. It's true.
And so before the 2 years, you had never been to Kenya, right?
No, it was the first time. Yeah.
So, if I was to ask you like the top 5 things that you love about Kenya.
Wow.
Yeah, like those things, like, for somebody who can, because even for this I can do like a snippet video and, throw it there like a teaser. The top 5 things you like about Kenya since you came here 2 years ago.
Right, so I think the first thing will be the people. Second, the weather.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Can I be cliche and say that the weather
if there's no winter, you're good, I'm sure.
It's 2 years I haven't seen winter.
Oh, yeah.
Alhamdulillah. Thank God. Third thing, I'd say nature. Just like the fact that we are in Nairobi and I can go to the giraffe center, or I can go to the national park and see animals like this. It's amazing. Fourth thing, I'm not gonna say the food because I'm not a big fan of Kenyan food. So
You're not?
No. The music. Oh my God.
You love the music?
Yes.
Wow.
Afrobeats, 100%. And then fifth, just like the hustle. I like the hustle in Nairobi.
Yeah.
I like how I go and do my shopping in Gikomba, and I take a boda, and I take a matatu, and that's just like my life, and I don't want to complain about it because it's amazing.
Wow. I was just here talking to one of my friends and I was asking her, like, how I've never seen like an Indian in a matatu.
Really?
Yeah.
You need to go to Parklands. You'll
No,
see.
yeah, but that's the thing. She told me, like, you know what? It's just because if you're staying in Langata, not a lot of Indians stay in Langata. But if you go to Parklands, that's where like a lot of people stay, and that's where they would commute and everything. So it makes sense.
Pangani as well.
Pangani. How's your experience? Because even on like on your YouTube, I've seen you talking a lot about how you love Boda Boda.
Yeah. So
What's
I
your
love
favorite
them.
service though? Do you use the app or you just pick up random
No,
Bodas?
I use Taxify because of how they price me if I don't use an app. It's crazy expensive if I start negotiating with them. It's
Oh
crazy.
yeah. Especially with
Mzungu
you know.
price, yeah.
Oh yeah, Mzungu price.
Um, I love it, but sometimes it's crazy dangerous. But I like the danger, so it's like
Wow.
I like being on the edge of dying.
Do I have to remind you that you don't have free medical cover in Kenya? You know that, right? We're not in Paris. We're not in France.
No. If I have an accident on a boat, I'm gone. There's no medical. There's no hospital. It's straight to the morgue.
But
I like the danger because it reminds me how life is precious.
oh,
So many times I was close to having an accident on a boda, but still, I take them because I hate traffic.
yeah, traffic can be crazy in Nairobi, right?
Like I don't even,
It doesn't make even sense.
especially this week. I don't know if you saw, but it was on kilometers after kilometers. You could see cars stuck in traffic.
And that's the thing. I mean, that's one of the. But you should also try another one that I use on a regular. It's called Safe Boda.
Yeah,
That's one of my favorites if I'm using a bike, because times Taxify, I just don't know, man. It's like they choose crazy people to send them to me. But Safe Boda, I'm always like, they come well behaved. They give me like a hairnet, give me the helmet, and then like, are you ready? We go.
yeah, it's
I
true.
think it's more comforting for
And
me
the
to use Safe
helmets
Boda.
are new as well.
They're
so
new, yeah. It's not like the old rusty ones. At times, man,
It's
I'm
true.
not-
No, I do use it.
I'm not shitting on Taxify, but I'm sure they can do better.
It's true.
How about like the way you're talking about the school? We mentioned about school systems and everything, and you have your daughter in the country right now. Which school are you concerned about? Like what should be taught like with our school systems?
No, like she's 3.5.
Yeah.
So for me, putting her in a school that costs like $900 per month is ridiculous. Like maybe she'll need that money if she goes to Harvard,
Yeah.
but she doesn't need it now in kindergarten. So she's in a Muslim school. I think it's a good thing. It wasn't not like a mandatory thing. It just happened to be the best, the cheapest, and the best option.
Convenient. It would be easy for her to adapt and understand also.
Yeah, and that's something that we don't really have in France. In France, like they make sure that religion is completely separated from everything, so you don't have a lot of Muslim schools as per se. So I think it's a great experience for her to have now.
And you want your kid to understand just like you said, your culture, heritage, everything that
Yeah.
you grew up with.
Yeah.
If that's what you want them to understand, that's at least you have those options.
Yeah,
Like you
definitely.
get to choose at least.
Yeah. No, that's the good thing in Kenya is that the schools are expensive, but they're good.
They're good.
And that's one of the first thing that people told me here. So you're not paying for nothing. So I'm happy. Like I don't overthink. At her age, it's too early.
It's no pressure.
If I could, I would homeschool her, but I have no patience for that at all. Like
And the time,
and time it takes. Yeah.
yo, it's crazy.
Yeah, you would have to quit your job and just do that. I think. Yeah. I have a lot of respect for mothers who homeschool. Yeah.
It's not easy. Okay, now you just coming back here, and you also got a job here, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And balancing that with, because I know we all have to do like the regular jobs, and that will help us like actually support now our hobbies. If you have like that artist driving you,
Yeah.
you always need to have like something that will fund you and actually make you happy at least, and just at least be able to pursue your hobby thing on the side.
Yeah.
Since you started doing a little bit of the YouTube and online content in Kenya, did you reach out to any like YouTubers? Are there people who reached out to you, or just like the online community when it comes to social media? How are you embracing it?
It's a good question. To be honest, I just met Farhana Oberson It was a coincidence. We
Who's
met.
that? No, I know her. I
Is
know
that
I'm
chick
joking.
from Mombasa, you
No,
know?
I know
know
her.
you're
I know her. I'm just playing.
I know. It was a coincidence. So I didn't reach out to her. She didn't reach out to me. We met at a place and we became friends.
Oh, okay.
But outside of that, I met Sharon from This Is S as well, coincidentally. But we were going to do something together, but we never ended up doing it. I don't reach out to anyone. Yeah, because I kind of posed my YouTube channel anyway.
But that's where you get like your source of inspiration.
It's true. It's
At
true.
times when you have like people who kind of are going towards a direction or they're doing things that interest you as well, they would influence you to actually have like different ways of approaching it.
Yeah, definitely, and it's a good way of marketing as well. Like, but the video that you saw on my channel, the last one with Doha is my best friend, and she started her channel.
Tell her she needs to be on the podcast as
Okay,
well.
I
Set
will.
it up. Set it up.
She'll be happy.
Set it up. And just like apart from Farah and Farhana, sorry, Farhana and S.
I see the others at events and stuff
Are there
like
people
that.
that you've noticed, like, and this
Of
person
course,
is
I
doing
follow
something admirable?
Patricia, I follow Nancy, I follow Joy on Instagram. I watch their videos.
The big wigs.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I see them sometimes, but I don't engage that much.
Why?
I don't know. It's just a different world from mine.
Okay.
I'm sure they're really cool, and I follow them because they are awesome.
Yeah.
But I don't like transactional relationships.
What's that? What do you mean by that?
It's when you talk to someone just because you want to get something out of them. And I feel like those
like
girls...
how I invited you to the podcast so that I can have more content.
No, that's different. So I mean as in friendships.
Oh yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
So if I would talk to these girls, I'm sure they would feel like they probably get so many messages and so many people coming up to them for something.
And especially like for just women in general, especially like on the online platform, it can be very superficial as well. So you don't want to be one of those people as well who's coming to like, can I do?
Exactly. If I want something from you, then I have to give you something back. And at the moment, I don't have anything back to give, so I'll stay on the side. But that's why I love my relationship with Farhana, is because it's pure friendship.
Just organic,
it just happened.
And just like from the video I saw with you and your friend, I think that's a really nice. I know you've only done like one of those videos, right?
Yeah, it was the first time that I did something like that. Makeup is not my niche.
Yeah.
But Doha is starting her YouTube channel, and she's amazing. She can talk about makeup like a doctor can talk about a disease. What? Yeah, she's so
sure. Can you set it up for next week?
I will. I'll
tell you why. Because I have like friends who I know they're doing well in the makeup community and stuff, and I've tried to reach out to them, and they're like, you know what, I don't have time. So why shouldn't I bring somebody who actually would want to talk about it, the experience and everything, and that's why
she's amazing, because she just started and she's consistent and she works hard at it, and she has other things going on, but she makes sure that she has that time during the day where she's editing and posting videos, and I couldn't do that because it's so much work, and people don't realize that content creation is work. They're like, oh,
crazy.
She's an influencer, easy life. I hate those comments. When I see Farhana in Doha, I'm just like, wow, this is a job, and it's a full-time job. It's not just like part-time.
The consistency part is where it's really, really hard.
And that's where I struggle.
Yeah. That's where like a lot of people like, just decide to quit. And that's why like for me, I'm telling you, even with the podcast, I'm just trying to shoot as much as I can, but be able to provide people content every week. I don't want to start feeding people with this information and all these lovely conversations, and then after like 2 months, like, I'm tired, or I get busy, or life happens, and then I just can't be able to give you the same thing that I started feeding you like in January. That wouldn't be fair even to the audience.
And honestly, I have so much respect for you guys who keep posting, because it's an ongoing battle against your own laziness.
True.
Procrastination and making excuses for yourself. Like, oh, I've got this to do and I've got that. Oh, but I prefer making quality content than quantity. That's all bullshit. It's just
it's laziness.
it's lazy. It's pure laziness, and I am the definition of that right now. But yeah.
When it comes to just the online community, I saw a post that you posted, and you were talking about followers, that you'd rather have like a few followers who are genuine rather than have this big community that doesn't even like really care about you. Do you think people get swallowed or lost in that hype? Because like right now everybody just wants that verification sign. They want 100k followers.
Yeah, I can understand that. It depends on your goals. So if your goal is to be sponsored by other companies, then you need the numbers. So it's legit. Go chase those numbers.
Not really.
They look at the numbers. How many people watch your stories? How many people like your posts?
Because you can buy numbers, you know that, right?
Yeah, but I'm sure they can verify that. The engagement numbers.
Not in Kenya.
But the people who follow you, maybe they don't look at that number, but they'll look at the numbers in terms of like who watches your story and stuff like that. So if you get a contract with like a big brand, before working with you, they'll go and check those numbers. So I can understand that the chase is important for some people. For me, it's not, because my goal was not at the time when I started this whole having my own business thing.
Yeah.
My goal was not to work with other companies and be sponsored and get free stuff and do reviews and stuff like that. My goal was to be my own boss, create a course that I would post online and sell to my audience. And my audience could have been 1,000 people who would buy my course. 1,000 people buying like a $20 course is really good.
Yeah.
Like I don't need 10,000 followers. I just need 1,000 people who are passionate about weaving and who would buy my products because they answer their demand.
The reason why I'm saying like, numbers aren't really like a thing, or people buying numbers, it's because let's say you have 30k followers, right? 30k followers. All you need is $1 from every person who's following you. And at the end of the month, how much do you have?
$30,000.
Yeah. Would you need a sponsorship from anyone if you're making 30,000?
Why would they give you $1 though? You need to create
there's
something.
Patreon things.
Patreon.
Yeah, you
But
can give them
Patreon
like
a thing
value.
in Kenya, though?
You can create. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, for like people who like have those crazy numbers.
Yeah.
If your intention is actually like making money, you don't want to get an impact or anything, just tell people, you know what, I have this Patreon thing, and I just want you guys, all you need to do is just donate like $1 every month, and then maybe I'll give you an exclusive video of this. I'll give you like a one-on-one session, FaceTime to this and that. I'm just guessing.
You rely on people your whole life then.
I'm just saying $30,000 isn't bad for if you do it for like two, 3
but
years.
When you get it,
3 years.
It's not sustainable.
No, like guys are doing it in the States though.
Yeah.
Patreon and it's like people commit to your content. They're like, we like your content. So for 1 year, all I need to do is give you $12. That's it.
Find
like I'm
me
a
people
loyal
in
fan.
Kenya who would Patreon you like this.
I don't know them.
No one is ready to spend $1 on it. I mean, there's so much misery in this world.
It's not a lot to an average Kenyan, but I'm just saying that I think that's the direction that the digital platform is going.
I don't like that direction.
But that's where we're going though. That's where we're going, because for influencers,
$1 to an association or something, an orphanage or something like that. Like
I can say at the end of the month, I'm buying kids toys every end of the month. Wouldn't you give me that $1?
No, then I would buy the toy myself. Of course not. Why do I have to go through you?
But
I feel you.
Be ordering some Fashion Nova every month. People will be just upset. But I know what you're saying.
But the culture is different in the West, yeah?
Very different. Very different.
I mean, here it's hard to get money from people for goods in the first place.
Yeah.
So imagine influencers.
For content, it's tricky.
It's almost impossible.
I don't know how you linked up with Concrete Roses for
Instagram.
Social media. Why didn't you mention them then? When I asked about people you met online, like in Kenya.
Because I thought you meant YouTubers.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. For then I meant YouTubers. Okay. True. Okay, but how did that just come along? Because they're like good friends of mine, and I also
Yeah.
like, but I bumped into Suhan like in a sushi tasting session, like in their
Uh-huh.
restaurant. Yeah.
Uh-huh. For us, it was just like I followed them,
Mm-hmm.
and then they followed me back, and they saw my work, and they were like, "We need to do something together." And we both had this idea of incorporating weaving on
Jacket.
clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we did it on the jean jackets, and it was amazing. They just look amazing, and yeah, people responding quite well to this product.
Do you
Yeah.
think it's hard partnering with just people online in general? Forget about just YouTube, but in general, just um, approaching or linking up with somebody who like you don't know in person and just forming that chemistry. Do you think it's easy or just something that
I think it's really
far-fetched?
easy in Kenya
Mm.
because Nairobi is very small.
Mm.
So you bump into people that you see on social media, and if you have a special interest in someone and you know you could do something together, it's easy to see them somewhere, you know?
True.
Like there's only a few events where
Yeah.
we all hang out or stuff like that. And then people are very approachable here
Mm.
because the scene is very small as well. So it's always a win-win, you know? So yeah, it's quite easy.
It's not that hard as compared to other places. And
Yeah.
like for me, I'm always thinking like, yo, as long as I've seen you online, like I think automatically at times in my head it just registers like we're friends. So that's the same approach. Like even when I'm approaching you, I'd come with the same basis, even though you don't know me.
Yeah.
I'd be like, and that's how like I even guessed a lot of guests. And just on my page, you'll see a lot of people. But that's the approach that I use when I just want to link up with somebody for something, which works for me. I can't complain.
And you have the attitude and your personality is very open and comfortable with other people, so it's even easier for you.
It's very rare in Kenya to find that. Very, very rare. Very rare.
Who said so?
Very rare. Hold on. So yeah, the next topic I'd want to touch on is just marriage in general, because why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
You don't know. No, it's cool. We can talk about marriage and divorce, as a matter of fact.
Listen, I chose you because you're a good example to the current society and everything. Don't twist this all around, because I don't have the questions for
divorce.
Okay, hold on. Let's just talk about it. How important is marriage to you? You seem like a young mom, and I see a lot of self-drive in you, and of course I just see how you love your kid as well, like on Instagram. Why do you have that cheeky smile on your face?
Because it's true. It's true.
Yeah, which is true.
Yeah,
And
it's
I appreciate and salute everybody who I have. Like I just see pushing that agenda, and they have like that theme in their life and everything. So how important is like just marriage to you in general, if you think about it?
You mean the relationship?
Does it add value to you as a person, or do you think it strains you? I mean, I'd want to know. I'm not married. I'd want to know. Before I jump into that ocean, I'd want to know.
You see, it's funny because marriage to me at this time of my life is not as important as it used to be because I'm separated. And you didn't know
Sips
that.
tea.
It's a concept. Because we just met, you didn't know. So
I didn't know. And I
yeah.
have all my questions like, how is marriage a nice sanction? And,
You got the wrong
give
person.
me the tips for like...
You want hope. I'm going to destroy every bit of hope that you
Come on, man. Come on.
So,
Okay, yeah, tell me just what were you saying before I interrupted with
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not the right person to talk to when it comes to
marriage.
happy marriage.
Okay.
No, but
Is it just hard? Is it hard? Is it something that's hard because of the current, society,
Yeah.
day and age?
Yeah. I think if you compare our generation to our parents' generation, there's a clear change of behavior. We are the Tinder generation. When we're not happy, we just swipe. We always think that the grass is greener somewhere else. We want to explore. We don't want long-term relationship, but we also want company. It's complicated. We grew up in like a confused society where we want it all, but at the same time we don't know what we want, like I was telling you before.
Yeah.
and we also want to try it all, and that's why people get married like later than what our parents used to do.
Yeah,
right?
they used to get it done like super early.
Yeah, because that's how it used to be. And now we have other priorities. We want to have a career as women, but we also want to have kids, but the clock is ticking. It's all very confusing. So I would say, like, marriage for me was a very religious thing. And a lot of my big decisions in life are related to religion. Religion is a big part of my life. So I can't really talk for everyone. I can talk on a Muslim young woman perspective at the time. But I would say that everyone is different. But my advice, and the advice that I give to all my friends who are not married, is just take your time.
Don't be in a rush.
Yeah, don't rush things. Just get to know the person. And even if you're Muslim, there are ways, and also for Christians who are very religious, there are ways of doing things the right way, but still getting to know the person you're getting married to. Ask a lot of questions, and like important questions, not just like what's your favorite food or what's your favorite movies. More like, how many kids do you want? How religious are you? How religious do you think you're going to be in 5 years? How do you want to evolve as a person? Are you more of a materialistic person, or do you want a simple life? Do you want a career? Are you career focused? Or these are like important life matters that we don't think about when we meet someone and we're excited.
You want to tell me I have to have all these questions ready when I'm starting to date someone? You don't think I'll scare them away?
Okay, now the dating thing, like, don't even, I don't know. Dating, that's why I say on a religious perspective.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's not really such thing as dating if you are practicing
Marriage.
religion.
Yeah.
The religion, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The way I did it, I didn't date when I got married. That's
No?
why, no. That's why I say on that perspective. Where
Okay, how does that work though? If you don't...
You talk to the person, but you don't go on dates. You just talk.
So you don't get to know them like... Oh, that's why you're saying like you don't really get to know...
That's why you ask
like
the
what's going on
questions.
in their head and all these things that maybe they're
That
expecting.
you won't know anyway, even if you were dating them.
What do you mean?
You don't know what's going on in someone's head when you're dating them.
No, but maybe after like a month or two, you'd start knowing like, this is their character, this is how they behave, this is what, after like a month, they can't really pretend any longer.
I feel like you would get to know someone better if you sat down and talked to them instead of going on dates. So it's kind of like dates, but it's more like talking than doing things,
Interrogate them like on a podcast thing. Like,
more like
how many kids do you want?
A Sunday kind of way.
Yeah.
How many kids?
That's tricky because, I don't know. And it's funny enough because even in my questions, I had... let me just see if I have it here.
Yeah?
Okay, just look at this question.
Oh.
And then, this I just had it down because I knew you were like, married, happy and everything. So I had this question that, would be like, the one that's not ticked. Just read it.
Yeah.
Just read it on the mic.
So the question is, what do you think of the growing number of single moms in current society? That's something I've noticed in Kenya.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's...
Especially like in Kenya, it's just like, the numbers are just like... And it's turning into a thing.
But everyone thinks it's normal. Like, everyone knows a single mom here. And it's just how it is. Like...
It's not right. It's not normal, though.
It shouldn't be. No, it shouldn't be normal.
Yeah.
I don't know why it happens a lot here. I just heard stories like the single moms that I know, they were with someone who was already in a relationship or things like that. Or the guy just was not interested in having a kid with that woman in particular and just left. So I find it sad. But then at the same time, those women are the strongest women I've ever met in my life.
True.
So, it just shows how, and what I'm going to say is...
No. Say it. You have to say it.
As women, we don't need men that much.
Wow. Wow.
And no, but it's
You're not the
true.
first one to say it, like on the podcast. So, it's okay if that's how you feel.
I mean, it's true. Like when I see them, they're doing so well without those guys. I'm not saying that the kids should not have a dad.
But where are we
Everyone should
going?
have a
Because
dad.
but where are we going as just a generation if like that's not like a priority or need anymore?
The
It's not bad
question is-
not to need a man.
No, it's not bad.
I mean, definitely for me, I wouldn't want to be alone. I want to have a wife next to me.
Yeah, but the
Even
feeling,
if I cheat, I'd want her to be there and forgive me. all the power couples go through these things and they
open
go,
relationship, then if you cheat,
no,
you cheat.
not open. I'm just saying like,
Open.
you know, I'm just saying like through thick and thin, because you know like how worst case scenarios appear like on mainstream, and we see these couples like going through like anything that, like even Jay-Z and Beyonce like had like a small incident that happened and everything, but just
Yeah.
look at how they held it down, and they still, because that's part of life. I think a lot of people don't, when they're engaging with someone and
Yeah.
they forget you're in that love bubble and forget that, you know what, there's somebody who's gonna see like that relationship and like, I want that as well.
Yeah.
Not with anybody else, I want it with this person. And they're gonna come in and probably like try and shake your marriage or something.
Yeah.
And that's just part of life. And a lot of people never want to address that. What happens if this happens to in your marriage, like kind of thing.
Because we have expectations at the beginning of the relationship, and sometimes those expectations don't help us. They actually hurt.
Yeah, because you didn't have like your mindset to like, how do I deal with this situation
Yeah.
if it's thrown on my direction.
Exactly, yeah. No marriage is perfect, I think. But when you're with the right person, you're ready to go through a lot more than when you're not.
And that's why you should try and make it work.
No. That's why
You're
you
like,
should
no?
take your time to find the right person.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not saying, I'm not saying there's only one person for everyone in the world. There
Yeah.
are several people who are like good for you at a certain time in your life, and with who you're going to evolve in the right direction. But I think it's all about the choice that you make at the beginning. Who are you going to be with? And not that's what's going to determine how much you're going to fight for when hard time comes.
Yeah, when the hard times come.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's just, you know, I don't know. All the questions that I had prepped on that category were
mean,
just
I-
like for all this. I
You
just
can
needed.
still ask them, because I was married for 4 years.
Okay, how was your experience though during marriage? Because I want to know as well, like, you know, before, you know, you decided to maybe, I'm guessing it looks like you're the one who decided to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Why
good.
do you have that cheeky smile?
Because you guessed, I don't know.
I know, I'm just saying,
People
because even
assume
from
it's
how
the
you're talking.
opposite most
No,
of the
no,
time.
I can see like it's definitely you.
Okay.
Anytime when you see like, you know, a kid is involved and everything, the mother always wants the best for the child.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about you anymore. You're just thinking
Exactly.
like for two people.
So it's a
way in
decision that
advance.
takes a lot of time to take.
Yeah.
And it's really hard, as the mother, because you are blamed, especially in my culture. So I would say Arab culture. Divorce is becoming more and more of something that's accepted, but it still has this stigma on it where you're ruining your child's life, basically. And I grew up in a household where my parents were always fighting, so I didn't want that for my kid. And studies prove that a child will be fine with divorced parents that are in good term. The child would actually be better if the parents are divorced and in good term than if they are together and in bad term. So it's just a hard thing to do, and especially when you're alone going through it, it's very hard. But I would say trust your guts. And that sounds simple and stupid, but just trust
But
your
yeah,
guts.
no, it's true. It's true. And even in anything in life, that feeling never lies.
Yeah.
It doesn't really lie. And okay, what happens next now? Let's say if you're heading towards the direction of joining this toxic society of single moms that is growing in Nairobi.
What's toxic is the men who are leaving. Trust me. Yes.
No.
Those
Let's
men,
let's
those
not make it
cowards.
a competition now. I'm just saying, yes, they're already toxic men there. We accept that, but I'm just saying, like, okay, what next? But do you see yourself ever going back to that dating game, getting married again?
I'm
Because
giving
I'm
myself
guessing
some
life
time.
now, you have to evaluate so many things, because anybody that you bring in your life, you have to take consideration, like your daughter, will they be a good prime example of somebody you'd want to be next to my daughter? How do you choose,
I haven't thought about
or
that, yeah. Because I'm thinking I want to focus on my career, and the separation is quite fresh. It's only been like 9 months now. So,
might get back together? Come on.
no,
No?
no, that's for sure, yeah.
Oh, wow.
The look of disappointment on your face as if you knew.
No, I'm just like, I've had two people who've come to the podcast, and one of them was a really good friend of mine.
Okay.
And the worst part about it is that I shot their kids' first birthday thing, and you're like, if you see the video, even if you don't know her, the first thing that you'll do is cry.
Wow.
It's because you see just the love and everything, and then after a couple of months, it's no longer there. The situation is completely different, and it's so hard. And even to somebody like me, that's when it's so scary, because you're like, yo, if these people I saw that connection in them, and they seemed so happy.
Yeah, but then there's what you see and what's really going on.
True.
It's exactly like with social media, we see a lot of people's life, but then how much of it is true, and what does this picture represent? What's the percentage of that picture in that person's life? That could be just 1%, and the rest of the day is shit. You know what I mean?
True.
So for me, I went through a lot during my marriage. I had prenatal depression when I was pregnant, and then I had postnatal depression. That took a good 2 years for me to heal from that. So the marriage was very much influenced by what I was going through.
Yeah, and I hear that's the most sensitive period for.
Yeah, and what I was showing was not what I was feeling inside. So people would see us and think that we were both very happy. No one suspected that things were not going that well. So what you saw on that video is maybe not what was actually, it's not the reflection of the reality, the feelings. Everything is a lie. But there's hope. I think there's someone out there for everyone, and or several people out there for everyone, and everyone deserves to be in a happy marriage. It's a question of choosing the right person, and then both making efforts into making it work.
Well, what do you think, because now this is coming from you, what do you think, a good marriage should entail? Because, you'd be in a position to say, what, because I've experienced this, I think something that's shaped in this manner, or, both parties are bringing this to the table, is what would make it easy to work with, or just for it to last. What would you think your idea of a good marriage?
Yes, so you were asking, now that I've experienced marriage, what would I say is the perfect kind of, or the best relationship or partner?
Yeah, or if you were to approach it again, let's say you were in this race, and you failed the first time, you didn't finish the race.
You learn from your mistakes.
And now, Kenyans, we're long distance runners. We don't quit. We don't quit. Yeah. Now you want to finish this race. So how would you approach marriage again if you were to get into that situation?
I think first thing first, I would make sure that I'm confident, I am happy where I am alone as an individual, and I would work on myself a lot first. Then award at the end of the year, award of the best guest, award of the funniest, award of the...
We'll figure that out.
Yeah, you should do it.
We'll figure that out.
Give them some cake. Give us some cake.
Dessert. We want another Black Forest? You want another
Can't even finish this one.
Okay, yeah. So what do you think the best marriage
Yes, I think I was very young when I got married, and I thought I had it all figured out, and I thought I knew myself and what I wanted, but I didn't. So next time, inshallah, if there's a next time, I will make sure that I'm ready, and I'm happy where I am as an individual in my life, and I'm happy with who I am. Because if you start a relationship not being confident and having your own issues, everyone has issues, but there's some things that you need to fix before you start something with someone.
Yeah.
So that would be the first thing. Then, now I know a bit more what I expect from someone else and what I'm ready to give. So I think am I describing the perfect candidate or
No. Just like how you'd approach it, because even it might be like, the candidate. What would you like them to bring to the table? Because
I think emotional maturity is the most important for me. Someone who's able to communicate his feelings whether you're fighting or not fighting, just basic communication skills and understanding. Because it's good to communicate, but what's the point of communication when there's no understanding behind it, If you're not capable of listening to what the other person has to say or feels, then your communication has no point. So empathy, listening, communication, those skills that I find
looking for.
Yeah, I find that men who are older are able to provide more in terms of those skills.
Is this why all the hot chicks are just dating old people? Don't give people excuses here. Don't give people excuses
It's not
on my
about
podcast.
the money, it's about the emotional availability.
But it's true. Do you know about the Steph Curry situation?
No.
Do you know Steph Curry?
No.
He's one of the best NBA players.
Okay. No
like
idea.
probably like top 10 in the world. And last week, recently, the wife went to this TV show and
Is it Aisha or something?
Aisha Curry.
Okay.
Haven't you seen the memes and everything?
I saw it on your story, but I was like,
You didn't understand?
I didn't follow the back.
Okay, he's a big NBA player, right? One of the most successful, super young and super rich. Plus, he's Christian and he's born again. And he's known to be super faithful to the wife.
Okay.
So the wife said, she went to this show and she said that, yes, he does all these things and everything. And, I see even like how other women look at him and they want to be with him, they admire him, they want him and everything. And as much as I know he comes back to me, I'd want to feel that as well. I'd want to be admired by other men. I'd want to know that, I'm still, because she's had like, I think 3 kids. But, everybody was just like, yo, come on. Like, you have everything that a woman could possibly ask for, especially like in this day and age, because you know how athletes are. They have like multiple wives, girlfriends and everything.
Yeah.
All this guy does is go play basketball, bring home money. You'd see him talk about like God, about the wife and everything. But she just seems like, she was just like, you know what, I'd want attention from, I'd want to know that other men want me. And people just went haywire. They're like, what?
No, it's understandable.
He's a millionaire. He's
doesn't matter.
He's faithful.
It doesn't matter. What she's saying, I don't know the backstory. I don't know what she said exactly.
And
but I think...
Can I, before you just finish that?
Yes, tell me.
And people were saying, like a lot of guys were saying, like, imagine this is Steph Curry. And some of us, like just average guys, like, yo, we're not NBA players and everything. So can you imagine for how hard it is for us to just please like a woman?
He's just a human being, even if he's Steph Curry. But I think what she's saying
Steph
is
Curry is special. If you know the NBA, like he is really... There is nobody who's been there like him. Like even Michael Jordan, like cheated like on the wife and all those. Any player, like there are always stories evolving around.
Yeah.
But Steph is like just that one person
but
who's...
It's not because your guy is not cheating that he's giving you the attention that you need. So maybe when he comes home, he doesn't look at her the way she wants him to look at her.
Because he's tired. He's been practicing and making money for the family the whole day.
I'm just trying to understand her, and I feel her.
What?
Yeah, I completely understand what she
Please
means.
explain.
Okay, so let's say you're in a relationship, you had 3 kids, you get in a routine. Now you barely do things together, or when you do them, it's just out of habits. It's almost like your husband has become your roommate. So
A rich roommate, though.
forget about the money. The money is
Okay.
not giving you love.
Okay,
Yeah?
true.
So there's certain things that you are lacking and you start looking for them outside. So it could be in female friendships, and that would be healthy. Not really, but it would be better than cheating, yeah?
Yeah.
But then what she's saying is she's like yearning for this attention from other men. That's because she's lacking something in her marriage. And your idol, Steph, as I'm not saying he's wrong, I'm just saying he should.
Don't you dare say something bad about Steph Curry.
And she's probably in the wrong as well. Like maybe she's not providing something that he needs, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because we
these
wouldn't
people.
know what goes on indoors. That's the thing. Again,
Exactly.
like you said, like, you know,
I'm
you
just
wouldn't
saying
know.
it's understandable.
And that's why, like, even when we're just talking about marriage, you'd see, like, when you see them taking pictures,
Yeah.
jeez,
They look happy.
super happy.
Yeah, it's
And
suspicious.
especially, like, for Steph, he's, like, one of the role models that a lot of, like, men need. Like, in the current
Yeah.
society, we don't have that.
Someone
Look at
who's not
somebody like,
cheating,
yeah.
successful in terms of
Successful,
business.
and you know, he's just taking care of his business as a man.
But that's just the basics.
Man.
And it I mean,
But he's like, what I'm saying is, like, he's really trying to,
yeah,
just as a guy, because look at other people. Look at, like, people like Donald Trump, the
Yeah.
people who have, like, world leaders who are, like, complete, like, assholes and
Yeah.
just doing everything that they want.
yeah.
You know, and even at times I get to understand, like, even when women saying it's just too nice, that's what they mean with Steph Curry. He's
No,
just
no,
like
no.
he's just too nice.
I don't like that
just too
mentality
perfect.
which
Yeah.
encourages bad guys to be bad guys. We
Yeah.
shouldn't encourage that. We shouldn't say, "Oh, girls love bad guys."
But I think that's
bullshit.
what it means.
No.
Because look at this guy. He, like, I swear you wouldn't even find Curry cussing. Even apologizes,
Wow.
like, when he does, like, everything to, like, you know, if he offends you when you're playing in the NBA, he's always fast to apologize, or just, like, you know.
Okay, he seems like a great guy, but it doesn't mean that he's perfect as a husband.
But which brings me back to, like, what are people like us supposed to bring to the table?
Everyone is different, huh? But what I'm saying is, as a woman, you should define what you want before getting into anything serious. Because if you're not sure, then you get things that you didn't want, and then you complain that you didn't want that. But that's because you didn't define your expectations, you know?
Ken, that's a good thing that you've said. And do you think there's too much pressure to men, like, right now, to protect and provide? And yeah, because think about it. And this has to be, like, you know, taken, like, into consideration, like, because, like, an average guy is just trying to think, like, how? Because even now, it's not even about just money anymore.
Yeah.
Because I know people who have, like, super rich husbands and they're super not
Unhappy.
happy. Like,
Yeah.
those are friends that I know,
It's
rich
never been about
boyfriends,
the
and they're
money.
not
Yeah.
happy. Or some who have, like, this guy who's always, like, you know, work relationship, and it still seems like, you know,
It's not enough.
it's not enough. So
Yeah.
do you think, like, there's just too much pressure when it comes to just men making women happy? And there's this whole independency, like, even now, the way you're talking, you mentioned something like it's just like you don't need a man anymore, and you said
Yeah.
it. Do you think there's just too much pressure? Because
First of all, I think the role of a man is not to make his wife happy. A woman should be able to make herself happy before she gets married.
agreed,
And-
that I agree.
And if that's what you think, then your marriage is going to be a problem, because you're going to have that responsibility on your shoulder to make your wife happy for the rest of your life when it's not your job. So that's the first thing. Now, if you want me to talk about the pressure on men, it's hard for me because I'm experiencing the pressure as a woman to do it all. So my first reflex is to say, no, but we are struggling as well on our side. I don't know how
You
it is.
shouldn't. A man
Everyone-
should be there to protect and provide. Yeah.
Every woman is different. Some women would want their husband to do it all, kind of like.
Would you want that?
No.
Somebody to protect and provide for you?
Of course, to a certain extent, but like in terms of working, I want to work. I don't want to be depending on anyone.
Well, let's say if I was your husband, you work for my company then.
I've heard that before,
and then
I think
just
it's nonsense. Like, I see you at home, I don't want to see your face during the day either. Like, leave me alone. And I don't want to work for you. You can work for me.
Wait, and when you come to ask for a promotion, I'll be like, no, you're not working hard enough.
Wow. So I've heard that before, and I think it's nonsense. I would never settle with someone who has this mentality.
Yeah.
I need to be doing my own things, and you need to be doing your own things on your own time. Now, I get that it's harder for men nowadays because women have higher expectations than our mothers.
Yeah, which is
and
true.
It's different expectations as well. My mom just wanted someone who would, pay the bills, and there was not even the notion of helping with the kids back then. My dad was never around to take care of us, except when we were able to play football with him. So when we reached that age,
now I can come in. Like, let's do this.
You can talk, you can kick a ball. Now we can play. So now it's completely different. That's why it always comes back to finding the person that's right for you, because everyone is different. You meet someone who's my age in their 20s, a woman, who would have the same mentality as my mom. And that's fine, as long as she finds a man like my dad who has the same mentality as her. So don't waste your time with people who are not compatible with you, you know?
True. If it just doesn't seem to click or work, I mean, don't put
clicks,
pressure.
but the mentalities are different.
No, that's true. And like now, like even when you think about it, like now with just the current generation, like there's almost no blueprint or script. Like everything is so unpredictable.
Yeah.
Like you might even get into something thinking that this is what you want, like you said, and then after like, a month you're like, yo.
That's where you need to sit and ask questions.
But see, somebody might say things that you want to hear.
Yeah,
because they're trying to win you over. Like, let's be honest. Like, if I'm trying to court someone, I can't say like, I have bad habits, man. Like, this is what I do. I'll just try and paint out all the good things.
Of course.
If you ask me, like, I hope you're planning to have like one kid, I'd be like, yeah.
And that's
but at the back of my head, I'm like, I don't want to say I want 7 kids so that you can run away. No, I'm trying to win you over.
It's tough. That's why you have to take your time, because action speaks louder than words. So that person who will say things like, oh yeah, I wake up every morning to do this and that. If you talk to that person for a couple of months, you'll see if what she's saying is the same thing as what she's doing. But you don't have to live with the person. You don't have to do things that you're not comfortable with that person to get to know her that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's true that talking is not enough, but time is.
Time is probably, which is, I don't know, this whole marriage conversation is just like very tricky. Because relationships as it is, they're already like way too hard. Yeah. And marriage is a whole different like just ball game. Yeah, it's a whole different ball game because you both have committed to this.
Yeah. It needs to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
And it's also it's not about just one person. Like in my case now I have a daughter, so there's one more person involved, and there's also the in-laws. When you marry someone, you marry their family.
Their family as well, So a lot comes with it as well.
Yeah, you need to be aware.
Okay, I guess like, we can always save that marriage conversation for like another podcast session.
Okay.
Where, when you're, maybe back happily married or married to somebody
you
else.
You gotta give me at least 5 years for that.
5 years.
5 or 10 years, yeah.
Okay, so I think we've touched like base on like quite a lot of things. And just before like I wrap up the podcast, because I'll definitely bring you back again and just have this conversation. Yeah. Like, we did like quite a long podcast session from the average ones that I do.
And I think if I open my own podcast, then I'll invite you for sure.
You have to. Come on, you have to. And I told you if you need help setting up and everything.
Thank you so much.
Call me. So, there's one thing that you mentioned when we talked about, and I think this will reflect on health, because I'm trying to balance the whole conversation with the 4 pillars of life. Which is food. You said you don't like Kenyan food? But I want to know which food specifically. Which food?
Okay, ugali. Like
You don't like
I don't
ugali?
understand ugali.
Man, like I
ugali
can eat
tastes
ugali
like
from Monday
nothing.
to Monday.
It with what? It's like oxygen. It's just like putting oxygen in your
You tried
mouth.
with chicken. Super nice.
Chicken.
Have you tried it
Okay.
with, what did you try it with?
Just like with the spinach and the stuff that it usually comes with.
If
but-
you're a fresher, if you're just starting off, if you're a freshman and you're starting with ugali and spinach, it won't taste really good.
It doesn't.
It has. You have to try it with something like a meat or just anything that has. Well, so what's your favorite? What did you taste and you actually like? You could tolerate because that's something completely new.
The food on the coast, I can.
Biryani, rice.
Biryani, not much, but those are more like Arab stuff.
Oh yeah, they're like. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So what's more Kenyan that you've tasted and you're like, you know what, this is.
Let me think. Give me names and I'll tell you if I. Okay, I like skooma in general. Yeah, I don't like it with.
That's everywhere. That's like international.
Really.
Isn't that kill?
But the way, yeah, but the way it's made here is different.
It's different.
Yeah.
How is it made? Like.
In Europe, kale we don't cook it. We just eat it raw.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
What?
In salads. Yeah.
Oh, like it's part of like salad ingredients.
Yeah.
Okay, but what do you like? What do you like
Uh,
eating then? What do you eat
I
when you're
eat
in Kenya?
everything. I miss my mom's food the most right now.
But what do you eat? Like I'm just
Oh,
trying
in
to.
Kenya.
No, yeah.
Oh.
Let's say on a regular. Like, what do you cook? What
Okay,
do you
I
enjoy
hate cooking.
You don't
So
cook?
I rely on my housemates to feed me.
Oh wow, wow.
No, but I do cook to survive though.
hold on.
So pasta, because it's easy to make,
Mm-hmm.
and I have this comfort food that no one understands. It's pasta with ketchup and cheese. That's what my mom used to make.
Starve to death if I was living with you. Come on, starve to
Yeah.
death.
I'm not wife material, clearly. So yeah, I'm not bad at cooking, but I don't
Yeah,
enjoy it.
You don't
so,
enjoy it.
mm.
But what Kenyan meals? Have you tried chapati?
Yes, I love chapati. Chapati is
That's
more of an
nice,
Indian
right?
thing, yeah.
Yeah. That. What do you have that with?
So stew, beef stew.
Beef stew.
Chicken
That's
stew.
nice,
Yeah,
right?
that's okay.
That's nice. What else? What else? Can't be eating pasta every single day.
I can.
You can, but you know
Yeah.
it's not healthy, right?
It's not, definitely not.
Yeah, it's not.
No, but I'm trying to be healthy.
Yeah. Do you have like
So-
any health habits that you're taking up and stuff that you know?
Yeah, especially with Ramadan, I have a lot of habits that I'm quitting and a lot of things that I'm starting to do. So
Mhm.
it's like just eating more fruits. I almost always have watermelon and mango at home, and apples and bananas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start like my shopping list.
Shopping list.
Otherwise,
describing
yeah,
what's in a fruit salad. So yeah.
I'm trying to be more of a white girl,
Ah.
like quinoa. And
Yeah.
yeah. I tried making quinoa once; it was disgusting. But
No, there's nothing wrong with no, it's not. Some people don't think it's cool eating healthy until when you actually find yourself in hospital and the doctor is telling
Yeah.
you like, yo, you need to start like taking care of ABC,
Yeah.
and it's simple things like just fruits,
yeah, fruits and
veggies. Just include them in your
100%,
diet, and
yeah.
you're good.
I find that healthy food is tastier for me than junk food.
No, it's junk food doesn't have taste,
It does. Like a burger tastes good.
man. Like
It does.
how like I wish you see like I'm telling you I'm doing this because it's dessert week. It's always fruits on the table and
That's
everything,
good.
but for now I just be a good boy and make sure people understand the kinds and difference of types of desserts that you can come and order and
yeah.
everything. But
Yeah.
my go-to in the morning, have a fresh bowl of fruits, a lot of water, tea. I stay away from red meat.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, just take a lot of white meat and
Yeah.
I feel good. Boy, I feel good. Like if I eat a lot of red meat, it's just I feel horrible by the time I'm going to sleep.
Yeah, and
You
you know
already
what your
start
body
feel-
wants.
Yeah.
So that's
You
good.
are what you eat.
Exactly.
Eventually, if you keep eating pasta,
No, but
what's gonna happen?
I'm exaggerating. Like when I was a
Yeah.
student, it was mainly like that
Oh,
everyday
yeah,
pasta.
yeah,
But
yeah.
right now, I exercise. I'm trying to gain weight, so I go like.
Do you exercise?
Yeah, I went to the gym yesterday. I'm aching right now. You can't see it, but everything hurts. So I'm big on like avocado salad, stuff like that. It's just I'm lazy to cook. But healthy food is usually quite easy to make. It's not that big of a...
Yeah, because it doesn't take time to even prepare it. It's stir fry or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I stay away from sodas, from juice, processed food.
You've seen sugar.
Sugar, yeah. I don't add sugar when I don't need it, or salt, because it's bad for hypertension. Yeah, I'm pro-natural. If you watch my videos and stuff, like even for makeup, even for product shampoo, everything basically is natural.
Nice. And that's just a good theme to go with, especially for my podcast when I'm trying to talk about health, wealth, love, and happiness.
Yeah.
And like you can see, like I've tried to steer the conversation in all those directions.
You did, yeah.
And I think we've touched on a lot. And you've been quite informative, especially like in the marriage topic. No, and you know, like no, you have. And you know, it just takes a lot. And I've seen people who've come and actually shared that, because it's like even like right now, a lot of people don't want to have those conversations. And now I even understand why Aisha was just expressing, and like even all of us were like, what?
Yeah,
what do you mean? Because you have everything. What do you mean?
It's
But
hard.
it's hard.
Imagine someone who's in a relationship, in a marriage, anywhere in the world, and who doesn't have anyone to talk to about those things. It's really frustrating. And you know, when you keep things inside, your body starts reflecting it. So for me, it was losing weight or being depressed or things like that. For someone else, it can be something else, like gaining weight, for example. But my advice is just like find a way, even if it's a therapist. Like honestly, it's 2019. It shouldn't be a shame anymore to go see someone and talk to someone professional. But you need exits to communicate to. Even if it's just talking and not getting advice back. It doesn't matter if you get the advice back. It needs to get out of the system.
Because otherwise it's just be lingering around your head, and who knows, man. That's like you say, that's what leads to depression and everything. And I understand when, you know, I don't have to agree with like everything, but I understand when people are talking about these things, because they need an outlet. And if somebody's saying like they're not happy, she has like a Bentley, a Benz, she has everything that you could possibly want.
It's just material
but
stuff.
She's just like, you know what, I'm not happy. I'm not.
So imagine if it was someone telling their family. Like when I started talking to my mom about how I felt in my marriage, she was in denial. She was like my daughter in Arabic, Binti, you have everything. Your husband is amazing.
Have everything.
What do you want more? She's like, he's nice, he provides. What's the problem? It's like you can't talk. It's like you look like you're venting or you're not grateful. And we have to come out of this mentality where...
I now get it. No, what
I
Aisha?
Get? What?
You are Aisha Carey. You are.
This is perfect timing.
This is
I need to watch
timing.
that video where she's venting. But I get her. It's like... You don't know what I'm going through. Maybe what you see looks like the perfect marriage to you. It looks like what you wish you had. But inside, there's issues that I need to talk about and that no one is ready to listen to. And that's what hurts the most.
True.
That's why sometimes it takes years for a woman to divorce even though she's not happy.
And you know,
it's because no one is there to support her. So if you're going through something like that and you want to talk, like honestly, I'm happy to get DMs on Instagram.
Reach out to her, man.
Like I was alone going through that, so I would not.
You wouldn't
wish
want
it
that
to
for
anyone.
And it's that, I think that's the one moment you wished maybe you had somebody you can talk about these things and just make you feel better.
And that's where Doha, my friend who I met here, came along, and Farhana as well. So. I'm pretty blessed.
So
with
they
those
helped
two
you actually get through.
So those are like my sisters in Kenya.
Perfect. I need both of them on the podcast. So make it happen. Make it happen. Make it happen.
Okay.
So
looking.
I think we've touched base on everything, and you know, like even on the podcast, it's not just about promoting what somebody has. It's just like having these conversations about life. And that's like the consistent theme that I'm trying to like just easy into when I start the conversations, because as much as I'd always touch, I'm always tiptoeing around, but I know where like I normally want the conversation to go towards, because people will connect to that. Like even you see when I had that question of like, you know, what do you think of the current growing number of like single moms? Like what I've noticed, like maybe let's say in Kenya, it's very popular in like now, like let's say the black Kenyans. It's super, super huge.
Yeah.
And I've also started noticing it like even on the Muslim community a bit and Indian communities a bit, even though they are the communities like they really do believe in like, till death do us apart.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Yes.
of late I've started noticing like even from them, like if they're not happy in a situation, they're slowly like moving from that situation and prefer being
single.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know, maybe it's our conversations that might make a difference or make people approach things in a very different way.
Yeah.
And hopefully whoever is listening or just watching, especially if you need to have that conversation, reach out to her.
Yeah, I'm not a professional. I'm just someone who
Yeah.
can give advice or just listen when you don't have anyone to talk to. Yeah.
Nice. I think we've touched on everything. But there's one question that I normally ask people before like we just finish up the podcast.
Okay.
And the question is, what's the one thing that you think right now you're in pursuit of, and if like you got it right now, it would give your life better meaning, better direction, satisfaction, sense of happiness? What's that one thing, like if it came into your life right now?
Wow, that's a huge question.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you end on that.
Oh, yes, yes.
You could have sent me a text yesterday.
No, I don't want to prep you for that. It's just one of those questions that you can...
Okay, I think I know the answer, and especially since it's Ramadan.
Yeah.
I think for me it's really faith and growing my faith, what we call iman in Islam. So I think that would give me a bigger sense of purpose if I worked harder on it right now. Because I had it before and I lost it. So I know how it feels to have it.
Oh.
So that's it.
Well, I wish you all the best,
Thank
in
you.
pursuit of that cause. We all are always like just waking up in the morning and that thing will just be ringing at the back of your head. This is what I want right now for this moment, because it would give me better guidance or just a sense of belonging. So I mean, I wish you all the best in
Thank
that journey.
you too, John.
Thank you.
It was awesome.
So I mean, is there anything else you have going on that you'd want to plug in the podcast, or where can people find you?
Right, so you can find me on Instagram at soumaya.ettouji. I'm sure you'll see.
I'll put the tag down below. You won't miss it.
And hopefully I'll get back to YouTube for the weaving classes if you are a crafty person.
Please.
And if you have any interior and architecture needs, then it's Dash Interiors. And that's also, I'll put something on my Instagram page so it's easy to find.
Yeah, please put that link, because I didn't even know that you do interior. And I have this good friend of mine. I'm actually linking up with her later today. She's from China.
Okay.
But she's Armenian.
Okay.
She lived in Russia.
Okay.
But she does she has her own interior design company in China, and she does projects in Kenya.
Link me
with
up with her.
Nini. So I'll make sure you guys just know each other.
Yeah,
because that's what the podcast is all about.
Yeah, linking people and connection.
Yeah, I guess we've talked about everything.
Almost everything, like 2%.
We'll come back for the 98%. Trust me, we'll do that in a part 2, inshallah. Yeah. So, I mean, thanks for coming through to the podcast.
Thank you for the invite.
I wish you nothing but the best. It's just coincidentally how we just started, talking 24 hours ago, and here we are already shooting an episode. And I think that's how, those connections should work.
It is definitely. Thank you so much for the invitation.
You're welcome. So guys, it's been another amazing episode of the Kiss Capades podcast. I mean, if you're listening, if you're watching, make sure you subscribe on iTunes, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and Castbox for Android users as well. You kept complaining, so I have you guys on Castbox. And probably I'll find another platform for Android as well, an alternative. But make sure you subscribe for updates and those audio releases every Monday. Full videos come out on Saturday. Thanks for listening and thanks for watching. It's the Kiss Capades podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.